Welcome to tonight's Sunday night call, guys. I appreciate you guys for making the time tonight because I know that you guys could be anywhere in the world, but you guys decided to watch this call at some point in time tonight, or whatever it is, whenever it is that you guys watched it. I appreciate you guys for watching it, making the time to watch this about 20-minute call. I'm not gonna take too much of your time on this call because I do appreciate every single person's time. My name is Isaiah. For the people that don't know who I am 30 years old. I currently live in Denver, Colorado, and we are here with the purpose to bring a message to help people just really feel where they need to feel every single day throughout this week and throughout the following weeks of their lives, because it is challenging to try to build something or try to feel great about something when people are pressuring you to maybe not see life the way that they see life. You know what I'm saying? Because the way you see life is the way you see life, and the way they see life is the way they see life. So a lot of people try to deviate and cause a lot of just disturbance because they don't see exactly what you're doing, which is why these calls are important to be on. Which I want to just make the time to make sure that I personally congratulate you for being on this call, because I know that for me, just listening to this information changed my life. And I was just listening to a mentor every Sunday. I made the time every single Sunday to really learn and take notes of everything that I was hearing, because this guy was saying, dude, I just took notes to get to where I am. And I was like, what do you mean you just took notes? I was like, I was puzzled for a second. And I was like, well, like, what do you mean? What kind of notes? And he said, well, at least you asked the right question, because you want to, take certain kind of notes. You don't want to take everything I'm saying, but you want to take certain points that I'm going to be speaking tonight, and every night. So if you go watch the calls that I, record for you guys will see different, things and feel different, things throughout, your weeks, or throughout your different experiences in watching the calls, because you're going to be feeling something different in that point in time that life put you through, or you put yourself through because of a decision you made, or whatever the case may be. Those calls are going to speak to your spirit, because I've always geared these calls to be designed to fit you on a conventional level, on an everyday level. Like if you're doing this tomorrow, if you're doing this on Friday, you could watch this call on Friday. This is why I appreciate the people that are live, and I also appreciate the people that are watching this later on the replay. What I do know from the people that are live on these calls, you guys are going to take more from this than the people that aren't on these calls live. Whatever the case may be, whatever your excuse may be, whatever your reason may be, nonetheless, you want to make time for you, because if you make time for these calls, then that means you're going to make time to make these calls at some point later, or you're going to make the time to trade so that you can win in the markets, so that you can actually see that income that a lot of these 6-figure, 7-figure, and 8-figure earners talk about. I've been around these guys. This is why I share this with you guys with such passion and such purpose, because it's not only just about your passion, it's about your purpose as well. Why are you on earth? Why on earth are you here? I'm going to go ahead and read the comment or the chat box real quick before I get into the topic. Perfect. Perfect. I appreciate you for responding back. I appreciate you. And I'm glad that you were able to do that. So tonight's topic is going to be how we view our life as how others will see us. Okay. So a lot of us are upset because other people don't see us the right way, or we're not exactly thinking about that. And that's something we want to bring to our awareness. We want to understand that how we see our life is how others are going to view our life as well. So if you see yourself as a person that's full of possibilities, and you see yourself as a person that has, you know, just begun a journey that is abundant, unlimited, when it comes to resource, when it comes to energy, when it comes to, the way you're going to be thinking, if you feed yourself more of that, how you see yourself in that, becoming successful through that, then you're going to make more of what you want happen in your life, rather than, oh man, I listened to that kid, but I wasn't really able to piece what he said together. So I think that this is just, it's not for me. Because a lot of people will say that. A lot of people say these Sunday calls aren't for them. A lot of people say Forex isn't for them. But you know what I found? That a lot of people end up saying that about everything in their life, because how you are with one thing is how you are with everything. This is something my mentor taught me. That's something you guys probably write down. Is how you are with one thing is how you are with everything. Okay. And when you guys run into somebody that speaks fast, just try to keep up. Try to take as many notes as you can. Don't write everything down. Don't take everything down. But you're going to get to that point where you are going to be able to speak that way as well. because the more you learn, the more you read, the more you investigate, the more you research, because of the profession that we're in here, the more you're going to understand how to collaborate or not collaborate with people. It's going to be very, very evident after time. So no matter where I go around the world, people frequently ask me about two things: how they can make a lot more money, or how they can do what I do. In the past, I had to have two separate conversations to show them how to do one or the other. But now we have a great concept in what we do. We teach them mindset and Forex. These are great concepts, guys. So if you guys know anybody out there that is struggling with extra cash, let's really get them on board. Why? Because that puts a little extra money in your pocket. And that also helps the other person understand the skill set that they're going to be able to adopt for the rest of their life and be able to cultivate so that they can make money on the side or full time if that's something that they want to do. Because we want to create a resource for others that don't have a resource. We want to be that energy that provides light in times that are dark. We don't want to be adding more darkness to the darkness that's already out there, right? We want to be adding our light. And I know that that can be challenging sometimes because people can say, oh, you're weird. And I talked about this last week on my call. Who cares if they think you're weird? It doesn't matter. What does it matter? They don't pay you. Their opinion doesn't pay you. Now, if they paid you, like the people that have been invested into these calls and watch these calls on the replay and are on these calls live, you guys have invested. So that investment in itself allows you guys to stay more grounded and just not say yes to every other opportunity, because that's why I designed these calls so that you guys are able to say yes to your life and say no to all the other vices that you don't really need to be doing, right? You don't really need to be eating out 4 times a week, right? Meal prep, do what you need to do, save some money so you can put that money into the account, your Forex account, so that you can flip it, because that's how you're going to be able to get ahead. So I'm glad that you were able to see Amanda's video right now. And then she actually recorded a blueprint video for the money. Okay. This is something that we got from our mentors. I would encourage you guys to watch it. It's a 7-figure money blueprint, success money blueprint. So that's a great video to watch. She actually recorded it for us yesterday. I went ahead and watched it. It was a great video, I thought. And I encourage you guys to watch that video as well as watch this video, the last week's video, because I thought it was also a great call. You can always take notes if you re-watch something again, because I'm going to go over certain things in your guys' training courses when it comes to the repetition of things. So you guys will hear me say certain things over and over again and speak it in a different conversation, but you guys will hear the same conversation. It'll feel the same, but it'll be different. That's why I talked about that on my call last week, because you want to master repetition. You want to master how you're doing things right now every single day for the rest of your life. Because what we have done up until this point, I know that I was doing this. I don't know if you guys are doing this or not, but I know that 97% of people are doing this, and it's you just go by what they tell you. You just go with the flow. At work, you just go with the flow. No, you want to go with the flow, but you also want to understand that you don't want to stay in that flow, because that's not your flow. Because your flow is what's going to help you get to whatever levels of happiness or whatever levels of purpose that need to come out of you to help you be fulfilled, because you want to be fulfilled throughout your life, because you have a long life. When people say you have a short life, that's a lie. You live to about 80, 90. If you take care of yourself, you probably live to about 100. Got a few mentors of mine that made it to the upper 90s. Billy Graham being one of them. Bob Proctor is one of my other mentors. He's about 86 years old right now. He's a great guy, great individual. And I always ask him, what's the one thing that, keeps you going? And he says, people. I do this for people. So when I hear that, I adopt the same mentality, and I encourage you guys to do the same. If you guys are watching this video on the replay, and for the people that are watching this right now, do this for people. Do this for you bettering somebody else's life, for you seeing the joy in somebody else's life, for you helping that person with their week. By feeding a little bit of mindset on a Sunday night that helps them organize their brain on Monday, because there's something about mindset, guys, on Sunday that helps you just have a better week, or it helps you just see what challenges are going to be coming out in your week that next week. And that's what I've, always taken from these Sunday night mindset calls, whether I was the one doing them or whether I was the one on calls taking so many notes, guys. Because believe me, before I started doing this, I took a lot of notes, and I still take a lot of notes. Everything that I share with you guys is all valid information. It's stuff that, it's been proven by hundreds and thousands of people out there in the world. Millions of people are actually doing these concepts that we're teaching about, energy and just, manifestation. Forex in itself, there's not too many traders that are like premium traders. So you have to understand everybody's making it to that premium elite level in trading. As far as mindset, there's a lot of people making money from mindset. So if you want to get on these calls, if you want to put something together, get together with myself or Amanda, and we can get you the right information, the right way of you being able to share your story so that you can also get paid for this. Because there's something that, is unique when you do something long enough. Facebook even wants you to get paid for you being on stories and sharing certain videos with the audience. And I've gotten to that point, guys. So that's why I encourage you guys to also build your social media so that Facebook automatically, naturally wants you to become that voice, because we all have a voice. We just have to speak out, right? Like, not out of like spite or just envy or any of those negative emotions, but out of really what's happening and how you can better things, right? Because we can always point out the bad in something. We can always say, you know what, I don't really like that. Okay, but why don't you like that? Because maybe that's more a personal thing. Okay, this is why I always share that with you guys. Always look at your life for what you need to look at your life for, not for what other people want you to look at life like. Right? And I know that can be challenging for you to understand. So replay this video, rewatch this video, take notes of that. Right? What I mean by that is, don't always just give in to the opinion of your parents, coworkers, people that you meet on the street. Right? Because I know that you guys are already taught to not listen to people on the street, but you guys are also not taught to not really listen to your coworkers as much, so you can be more productive for your life. Unless your coworker's talking about advancement, the ecosystem, and how he wants a better life, unless he's talking about goals, plans, desires, ambitions, and bettering his life, then talk to that person. But if he's not talking about those things, then you want to stay away from those conversations, because they deviate in your mind. They deviate you from what? The things that you need to do, like, being on these calls, taking your trade setups in the right timing, because you will lose a lot of money if you don't do the right timing, like we're sharing with you guys on these calls. It's all about timing, which is why I want you guys on these calls as much as possible. That way, after time, you know what times to trade, what times not to trade, what you would be doing. At this time, if you're not on a call, okay, well, you're taking a trade setup because that's what you're doing at this time, because you have found your rhythm in this time. And that's okay. I'm not going to get mad once you do that. But for now, I want you guys to be as engaged as possible. For the new people watching this, for the people that, are on this call live right now, I want you to take time to just really be on these calls every Sunday. Don't be like those 96% of people that I've coached that literally just watch maybe 6 months worth of calls, or maybe 2 months worth of calls, or maybe 1 month worth of calls. And they're like, oh, I think I know where he's going with this. No, because all this stuff is progressive. All this stuff is progressive, guys. We're going to be talking about issues, different things that come out in your life, how we can correct these things, how we can fix these things, how, sometimes you screw up a trade because you had a wrong paradigm come into your life. You had, extra set of things that you had to do on Thursday. You normally don't have that happen in your life, but now you're beating yourself up because you lost $200. And it's like, well, before you get mad at how much you lost, understand why you lost. Okay, and that's in anything. If you lose your job, if you lose your car, if you lose something, if you break up with somebody, hey, understand that what you lost is not as big as what you're going to birth in the future. That's going to be very important, and that's going to be coming up as I start wrapping up this call. If you want to create for yourself, message us your info. That way we can fit a plan in your schedule that fits you, because at the end of the day, this is all about you, okay? I lay my life on the line as long as I have your heart. Understand that, guys. I lay my life on the line for every single one of you guys, because this is a sacrifice. A lot of people tell me, Isaiah, why don't you go work and build a little bit more of your business and then come back? I'm like, bro, because you have to build the rhythm for your business. So somebody has to take the sacrifice. And me and Amanda were able to do that, from being in the streets of LA to now being in Denver to now going into Detroit, making this business happen, because this does work, guys. And we want to encourage you guys to also believe that, because 97% of what you see right now is going to tell you that you can't do this. Why? Because you need to follow structure. You need to be listening to somebody that's professional, but they're not even in these calls. They're not even knowing where we're from. They're not even knowing where we're really coming from. They're not really knowing our motives. They don't really know what it is that we're studying. Because a lot of people, if they knew that we study Forex, like, they would tell you it's a scam, but it's all articles of like financial confederations. And it's all like just really like the financial sector. That's what you're learning. So for people to say like, oh, does that work? It's like, yeah, bro, I saw your payroll like just yesterday. I was going through everybody's payroll. like the different sectors of finances. Like if you're working at a call center, if you're a farmer, if you're working at a restaurant, if you're working in the government, if you're working as a business owner, if you're working as a just a worker, who's getting taxed more. A lot of people don't know that the lower class and middle class are getting taxed the most right now. Corporations are being taxed less, which is what's not driving the economy. A lot of people are like, well, why is the economy kind of like just not flowing the way it normally does? Well, because they're not taxing corporations. If they were to tax corporations more than they were trying to tax us, which is exploiting, which is capping, because they're trying to exploit taxes out of people that barely even have anything. And that's what's happening. A lot of people aren't getting paid what they want to get paid. They wanted to, seek further opportunities. So disinformation in itself is going to empower them to free their life, to not feel like a slave. Because we're right now we're all slaves if we don't understand this concept that they're all trying to put debt on your name. Every single person is trying to put debt on your name. I guarantee that 95% of the people out there have something on credit. And I'm not saying that credit is bad. Build your credit, but at the same time, don't be building your life on credit, because it's not really a real life. It's built on credit. That's debt. That's what they want. They want to keep you there so that you're a slave. So you have to go to work. You have to pay your car. So you have to see those words that you don't need in business. Because in business you don't have to do anything. I didn't have to get on this call. I chose to get on this call because I was like, you know what? I love my team. Whoever gets on tonight gets on tonight. Whoever doesn't get on, they just missed out on a real call, because they're all real talks every single Sunday. This is coming from the heart. This is coming from people's minds that have been seven-figure earners, not just $100,000 earners. Because a lot of people are listening to our parents, and our parents have never even made $100,000. And that's the wrong people to be listening to if you're listening to people about finances, about growing a business, because they're going to tell you not to listen to somebody like me, right? Because that's what they were telling me. That's what they were telling Amanda. That's what they were telling the people that I've coached in this business. Now, some people believe that. Some people don't. Some people say, well, no, I don't want to, be in poverty. But then, like, you go do poor attitudes and poor actions, right? Because your attitudes lead to your actions, and your actions lead to your destiny. And that's just how you become, and that's how you are the rest of your days. If you're not aware of, like, oh shoot, the problem is really me. That's why I always say to you guys in these calls, always start with you. Always say, you know what? If there's something wrong, it must be my fault. If there's only 4 people on this call right now, I need to help us recruit more. That way there's 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 people on these calls, because everybody needs to hear about this. Because right now, what are people really watching? Football? What is that paying you? Hopefully you're on DraftKings and FanDuel, because that stuff can actually pay you if you're in a state that you can gamble in. But if you're just watching sports just to watch sports to argue, dude, that's stupid. Like, you're not bringing anything back to yourself or the people around you. But yet you're telling people not to watch these calls, because those are sometimes the people that are discouraging people like Oxa, like Amanda, like Joel, like Brittany, like Francisco, to not be on calls. Like, oh yeah, that stuff is like, yeah. They don't even know how to describe it, but they're giving advice. That's what I'm saying, guys. Understand who you are learning from. I've been doing this for 3 full years, like studying my brain, understanding where my thoughts come from, understanding how this magic works, because this magic actually works. The people that say it doesn't work is because they've never even stepped into this. They saw it from an outside point of view, and they're like, yeah, I don't think I can do that. That's like the Jesus parable, if you guys have ever read the Bible, to where he asked Peter to step out of the boat into the water. A lot of people don't know how to do that. They'll just judge the Peter. Oh yeah, you drowned it though, and Jesus had to help you. Yeah, bro, you stayed in the boat though. I didn't see you trying to get out. And that's a lot of us. And why do I bring this out? Because a lot of us, a lot of people are trying to discourage you from doing something like this, but they're still in the boat. Of course, this is going to be scary. Because in order to be brave, you need to be scared a little bit too. In order to get what you really want in life, you need to be a little bit afraid, because that fear is going to help you attract that discipline and that dedication and that precise timing to be able to attract those things into your life. Without that, guys, without the fear, you won't ever build the faith. The fear builds the faith, and it keeps you going, and it keeps you growing. You're like a tree planted along a riverbank. There is no shadow you won't light up. There's not a shadow you won't light up. You have to believe that. If you want to be that person of increase, if you want this to work in your life, you want to believe that you are a light in this world, and you illuminate others by what you do and by what you share and by what you have. You have to believe those things, because sometimes we're seeking validation from relationships, sometimes we're seeking validation from friends, sometimes we're seeking validation from, achievements that we achieve, and that's not the way to go. The way to go is by telling yourself, I love you and I acknowledge you and I see what you're doing every single day. And I'm doing this for you, for the older you. Because when you do this for the older you, you're the one that's going to win at the end of the day. That's why I say to you guys, don't let anybody just come in and start feeding you their philosophy. Listen to these talks, listen to your heart and your talks, because we either have self negative talk or self positive talk. But we're having these talks and these conversations silently every single day throughout the course of our lifetime. There is a science to getting rich. There's a science to doing anything. There's an exact science like math. Okay, there's a mathematical equation for you becoming rich. Okay, and rich just simply means residual income creates happiness. Okay, residual income creates happiness. I heard a mentor of mine say this: Isaiah, if you can't build money in your sleep, you will work for money until the day you die. I was like, well, that's pretty crappy. I don't want to work for money until the day I die. I mean, I want to have money so I can give it to others, so I can be okay to be living the way I want to live, so that I can, be able to be living on earth the way a human citizen needs to be living on earth, right? But at the same time, I I was like, man, how do I do that? So I started building my story, and I started meeting people that mentored me, that actually showed me the income that allowed me to believe that these calls on Sundays are very important to put together for our team. And that's what I've done for the last 6 months, guys. Put together these calls on Sunday. So I appreciate you guys for making the time on Sunday to watch these calls, because that means a lot to me personally, because I do this to better myself, better my speech, so that I can give these calls to my mentor so that they can, give me feedback as well. Because I remember one time my mentor shared with me, he said, Isaiah, I would love for you to do calls so that I can see them and listen to them so I can give you feedback, because I listen to people that are at where I want to be, and that's what I encourage you guys to do as well. Like, if you guys are coming into trading, I encourage you guys to look up to myself and Amanda, and as you guys start paving your way, you guys will probably start finding other traders that you guys like, and I will start opening up the trading floor to introduce these people to your life, and how you can also learn from them. But for now, let's stick to the basics. Let's stick to the one course, and that's why I encourage every single person to do, whether you're on our team on Mindset University, or whether you're a part of another community out there. Stick to your course until you build that course to where you can feel comfortable that, you're like, okay, what's working periodically? Okay, now what else do I need? Because there's a couple of our students that also feel that way in our business. And that's just okay. That's how you're supposed to feel, because everything's progressive. This is not a right or wrong industry. This is a do industry. It's an action industry. So if you put action, the more action you put, that's good action, the more good deeds and the more good things are going to come into your life. So getting rich is like mastering algebra. There's an exact equation that attracts everything you want and need into your life. There's an exact equation that attracts everything you want and need into your life. Don't ever worry about anything, because if you worry, you're using your imagination in a negative way. Okay? Worry is using your imagination in a negative way. Building faith is having imagination in a positive way. Now, what does that look like? Positive affirmations. I know I'm not there, but I'm going to get there. I know I haven't learned this Forex stuff, but I'm starting to. I'm starting to get a grasp on it, because I can mark my chart. I can get into trading view and not be like, what is this? I can set up my broker. I look back and sometimes tell yourself, you know what? I have come quite some. I've come quite some way. Like, I shouldn't beat myself up so much. You should and you shouldn't. You should do the stop and go that I talked about last week, like the little pick and roll. If you guys watch basketball, that's why they do the pick and rolls. So you can stop and then go. Create the same flow, but just let your opposition go right by you so that you can get a clear lane. And that's what we're doing here. We're stopping to go. A lot of the times we're doing these little pivots in our talk and our speech to really continue being engaging in our conversation, really continuing to keep the audience engaged. And you guys will start understanding how to do this, but you want to start taking note of the first things that I start sharing with you guys, like the notes that I have for you guys, like everything that I've been sharing up until this point. That's how you're going to get to that next level, because it's always interesting to see how somebody keeps a conversation going, or how somebody keeps the audience, or how somebody keeps doing this for 3 years and they still haven't stopped and they keep going and it keeps growing. Whether it's one person, two person, three people, different people every time on the call. Because before I used to have the same person. I used to have Joel. I used to have Omar on the calls all the time. And then it was Francisco. And then it was just different people all the time. And I was like, man, I want new students. Now it's just random people on calls on Sundays. Sometimes it's one, sometimes it's five, sometimes it's seven, sometimes it's none. And I'm just going still. And that's what I want to share with you guys. Don't ever let the numbers dictate who it is that you are becoming. Because who you're becoming is a lot more powerful than any results that you're putting out right now. Understand the results have to improve. They do. But they improve by changing the things that make you mad. So the things that anger you, like the things that like should irk you, like if you're oversleeping, like if you're overspending, like if you're overeating, like if you're not planning and budgeting your time properly. Those are the things that should make you mad, because those are the things that you're allowing in your life that aren't allowing the flow that I was speaking about at the beginning of the call. That's what creates your flow, being able to understand those things. So there are certain laws that govern wealth. Wealth is not only money. Wealth is not only money. Money is a resource. It's a commodity to further extend your presence when you are not there. Okay, so I'm going to repeat that again. There are certain laws that govern wealth. Wealth is not only money. Money is a resource. It's a commodity to further extend your presence when you are not there. A lot of people think that when I say rich, wealth, they tie that with money. No, money is a byproduct of what it is that you do for people or what it is that you do for a business, right? What you do for a business gives you a what? A paycheck. What you do for people gets you paid for teaching them mindset, for teaching them a resource, a skill, whatever you want to build. Just be that person that provides a service and value to others so that others can learn from that person. If you are, wanting to do something like this in your later days, because I know that, Joel, you're a little younger and you're watching this call, so this might be something that you want to do later on in your future. If you want to do that, bro, like, go ahead, do it your way. Don't ever let somebody dictate and tell you like, nah, that stuff's not going to work, because that's what they're saying about everything in their life. Nah, that's not going to work. I guarantee you, ask them a different question, they'll be like, nah, bro, like, I just do this. And then you go do what they do. And then you get mad later on when you start having awareness of like timing and just things that play out in your life, and they need to play out in your life. They don't play out because you said yes to somebody that was like, nah, bro, I do this. No, you should be open, because when you're open to things, when you're open to saying yes to your life, you fit it in. I'm not saying to do it immediately, but fit it in. I'm not doing that right now, but I'll do that in 3 months when I'm done with this trading thing. Like if somebody else wants you to do network marketing, I personally encourage you guys to do it on your own. That way you guys can build your brand that way. Because there's nothing more powerful than you building something from within, like something that you can share with people, like, because there's a lot of people hurting in relationships. There's a lot of people hurting in their mindset. There's a lot of people hurting in their jobs. There's a lot of people, just in different areas of life that, on their lows that other people have gotten through that aren't saying anything. And if you were to just speak a little bit on these videos and on Facebook and on these platforms that are out there for you, you'd be able to help others understand why it is that they're here on earth. Because a lot of the times that's the battle that we want to win. Because a lot of the times we're adjusting other things that we are not needing to adjust. Like a lot of people are switching jobs, they're switching professions, they're going from Forex to network marketing to something else, to something else, to something else. And that's not ever the answer. The answer is always within you. What can you bring out into this world that can help others? Because I promise you guys, I was doing the same thing. I was trying to find, like, I had 30 different jobs in my life, to say the least. And I didn't get fired from any of them either. Like, I kept most of them, and I was like, no, I don't like this job. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to go over here. And I never was fulfilled. What I truly started being fulfilled was when I started serving others, when I started doing these calls. Because I did these calls when nobody was on these calls. And I was like, you know what? I love this. I love the feeling of being able to record a call, share what I need to share with people, whether they watch it now, later, in 10 years, 20 years from now. That is powerful, because ideas last a lifetime, guys. I want you guys to write that down. I'm wrapping it up here shortly. Ideas will last a lifetime, an eternity. And if you want to plant for hundreds of years, plant trees, obviously plant kids, have kids and teach your kids. But if you want to leave a legacy, to be remembered. You want to plant ideas, which is why these calls are so important. Because out of these calls, we're going to have ideas to be able to build our life with throughout our weeks, throughout our months, throughout our years, because this is stuff that you're building progressively. You're building through what it is that you're doing right now. So I love you guys. I really appreciate you guys for your time tonight. Money will make more money will make you more of what you already are. Okay, so money will make you more of what you already are. Okay, understand that. We are going to focus on our soil this week. Okay, that's what I want you guys to understand this week. We're going to focus on our soil. Okay, what is our soil? It's going to be the disappointment, the insecurity, the rejection, and the trouble. That's what we talked about last week. Okay, disappointment, insecurity, rejection, and the trouble. Okay, that's going to be the soil. So who has disappointed me in the past? Okay, I need to let that go. I need to forgive that person in my heart and say, you know what? I'm done. I'm not even going to be upset. I'm not even going to let you phase me in the private time. Whether it's a coworker, whether it's a relationship, whatever disappointed you, you want to talk it out. That way it's not a part of you at all, ever. Because I'm telling you guys, a lot of this stuff that happens because it helps us subconsciously. Because a lot of this stuff is subconscious. And a lot of people are like, what are you talking about? Like, it doesn't make any sense. Or I'm just going to take whatever I want to take. No, take it all, because it's all for you. It just takes time for it to get to you in your brain. Because a lot of us don't read as much as we should. So I encourage you guys to read. That way you guys can get rid of the disappointment. That way you guys can have positive words, positive encouragement. That way you guys have better words, because better words will bring a better life, and they will drive out your insecurity. Because a lot of the times we're feeling insecure because we're not studying enough, because we're not reading enough, because we're not hanging around with the right people. And that will create your soil, the environment that you're around, right? The rejection. If people have rejected you, a lot of the times people that have been rejected, they hang around with people that have been rejected. That's not the way to go, because those people just want to pity, and they just want to be like, yeah, that sucks. Like, no, it doesn't suck. It doesn't have to suck. You choose to say it sucks. You can choose to say, you know what? This sucks for a second, but I'm going to figure out the way, because I don't want to feel this. Because then you learn and something else sucks. I don't want to keep having the same thing suck in my life. I want to keep improving. And that's why you want to take on the new rejection, because it's new rejection. It's new opportunity. It's new money. It's new whatever is coming into your life that you're asking for in private time, right? Because if you're not asking for anything, that's why nothing's coming your way. He who does not ask shall not get fed, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. The trouble. So a lot of people don't want to go through the trouble of sharing this or being this way, because they're going to be looked at a certain way. They're going to be looked at like, you're weird, dude. Like, you're talking about mindset. Like, why are you focused so much on like your mind? You should just like not be in your mind as much. You should just do more. Yeah, but you have to think to do. You can't just do to think. That's stupid. Like, think about it. If you're doing to think, that's stupid. Like, it's backwards. You want to think to do, because you can waste time just doing something you don't want to do. That's why I always tell people, if you want to do this, really find it within your heart. Whether it's, like the mindset part that you want to fall in love with first, because it can all fit into your life. And I've designed this course that way, because I understand that not everybody sees life the same way. But the people that see life, they can see this if I provide it to them a certain way. And that's why I do these calls. So I encourage you guys to keep watching them. I encourage you guys to keep sharing them with people, in your way. That way you guys can bring them into this community on Sunday, so that you can get paid, and so they can feel also better about their life, and just be along the happy road, instead of like being mad about everything. Because guys, we can all be mad. I can be mad about like two people on my call, but instead it's like, bro, like, I'm building, I'm trading. If you want to be on a call, that's fine. If you don't, I'm doing this for me at the end of the day, because I know I'm getting better, because I watched my calls. I took notes on my calls. That's why I do this. So I appreciate you guys for, watching these calls. I will be giving out some prizes this week. So I'll give out some cash out money. I didn't see anybody post the video last week, so I'm gonna go ahead and repost that video, or this video this week. If you guys share it, tag me on your Facebook, so that I can send you some cash out money, because that's what I want to do. And this is only valid for the people that are live on this call right now. Okay. So whether it's Amanda, whether it's Oxa, either one of you guys, I'm gonna send you guys money. Um, so how do you handle disappointment? That's going to determine a lot of your success in life. How you handle your disappointment. What I have done is put podcasts together to help my brothers and sisters to be a part of this movement, right? To be a part of this wonderful community. Because who gets paid for watching videos? Whether it's $2, whether it's $5, whether it's $10 in your trading account. You don't get paid for watching videos. Nobody pays you for watching videos. You're watching videos on YouTube, Netflix, all these other sources, and they never pay you any dollars. But if you share, if you like, share this information and comment, I will send you a cash app. But you have to be a part of our community here at Mindset You Trade. And I thank you guys for the time that you guys gave me tonight. I'm gonna go ahead and wrap up this call. We got under a minute left. So thank you guys for being on this call. You guys were able to take plenty from it, and you guys have a great, wonderful week ahead of you this week and every single week of your life. Thank you guys for making the time this week. Love you guys, and we'll see you guys next Sunday from Detroit. Love you guys.